Imagine you're in the market to buy a multi-million-dollar home. You start walking through the front door, and this is what you see. Hey everybody, it's Jaak from Atlantis Water Gardens. I'm here with Brian Helfrich from Team Aquascape. Brian, we've got a really cool project here. This is the model home of a development, right?
Yeah, Joel with H2 Homes brought us out. Joel will actually be is designing Greg, the pond guy's dream house out here in Utah. So one thing led to another, and we're out here building this waterfall for his show house.
Nice. So explain to me, like, you guys have started this thing already.
So we've got about 2/3 of the project done. We were obviously proud of the way we went at it the first time, but we brought you guys out to help us finish the second half, last third of the project, which in my opinion, is probably one of the more important parts. It's a big 6-foot, 7-foot drop that's going to be visible not only from downstairs, but also the second floor. From the second floor, you can't see anything that we did down here. You'll just see that top half of the water feature. I think it's also going to be the thing that pulls people up into want to engage with this, because anytime somebody sees that big drop, they're either going to want to hike up the boulders or move up to a future staircase that we're going to put in and leave them the room for a patio and let them sit by that 7-foot fall. So we've got a lot of work to do. You know, we've still got the plumbing, all the edge work, all the bib liners and foaming, obviously the last 2 waterfalls up on top. But I think with the crew we've got, we're gonna make quick work of this. And if we can be done Wednesday and have one more day for fun, that would be okay. But you know we're gonna go all the way to Wednesday, because we'll probably take it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I'm excited for this because I love big boulders. You guys have really laid the groundwork here for something that's going to be spectacular.
I showed a picture before and you have no idea the scale of these, but this is a 6-foot long boulder right here. And then we've got some, you know, big 5-foot boulders off on the side. Obviously the ones up there, if you're gonna build a 7-foot, 6-foot high waterfall, you need boulders that are 6 to 7 foot tall.
This looks absolutely incredible so far. I'm excited to get with Alan up there and start figuring out how we're gonna make this 7-foot tall waterfall happen. And you guys are gonna get working on just finishing up behind us.
Yep.
So that we can fire this thing up before we leave.
We have a dry stream bed that has to get framed out at least.
Yep.
We have to do that. We have to backfill all of our edges. We have to get pumps in. I mean, we're busy down here, I think, for a good half a day.
All right.
All right.
Let's get at it.
Alright, so when we're building these waterfalls, especially when we're using enormous rock like this, we very, very rarely ever set the boulders to the excavation. We actually, more than often, probably over dig everything, giving us the real estate to twist and turn these rocks. But when we do that, we have these huge voids sometimes behind. So you can see that the excavation was way back here, but our waterfall stone is clear out here. So what we've done here is we've then taken the gravel, filled all of this in to fill that huge void. We'll dig some of this out, put another liner back in here for an overlap. But to get the water to come up and over the top of this, we have to do a bib liner. Instead of me trying to explain it right here, let me show you one down there. So this whole area had the exact same thing going on. We had this big drop here. We had a bunch of gravel back in here, and I want that water to come kind of pool up in this area before it rips through this area and then comes back in through here. But because there was so much gravel in through here, we actually put in a scrap piece of liner. We actually put in a scrap piece of liner right over the top of the gravel. So here's that piece of liner. It's been cut to fit around all of these boulders. And then I just come in and I seam, let's see. You can see where I've foamed some of the joints back in here. Now when that water drops, it won't fall through that bed of gravel. It'll fall through this bed of gravel, hit the rubber liner, forcing it to all come through here. I'm gonna do the same thing in through this whole area. Whoa! I'm gonna do the same thing in through this whole area. One of my pet peeves with the Pondless waterfall is a waterfall that just comes down and disappears into this like magic vault. I really want that water to carry all the way through over into this point. In order to do that, AJ and myself are gonna have to cut a piece of liner to fit over the top of that. We'll seal all the joints. That'll force that water to move all the way over to here. At this point, we're gonna use a lot of these bigger cobbles where that water can infiltrate in through the gaps of these and then back down through the aqua blocks, ultimately feeding our pump over there.
While Brian's working on making the waterfall actually function with the bib liners and sealing everything up, Alan and I are creating the shape of this dramatic drop that's going to be this focal point from inside the house.
All right, so basically what's going to happen is right here is where our water is actually going to come crashing through. So in order to make that happen, we had to take and flank the sides of that wear rock with these couple of huge boulders. And just with all the girth of that, and then that big stream of water coming down, it's gonna really make it look natural. Then after that, it's gonna come down through here. Some of that water has gotta go down through that way and come over. And then we're gonna have a little bit come through here and just go through the cracks and crevices and go right back down to the bottom.
So him and I are up here working on extending this waterfall. It's gotta look like the rest of it all the way down. And since we all have a very similar style, it's working out quite well. It's like not even lunchtime and we've got this thing pretty well formed out. I see us up in that area sometime today. What do you think?
I think it'll happen for sure.
Yeah, man, let's do it. It's a dusty one out here. So for day 2, I mean, I'm looking at this morning, Alan, and we got an incredible amount of work done yesterday.
Yeah, we did. We got a lot done.
I think we could finish it today, and then we could just jerk around the other 3 days.
Well, Brian can still finish up.
Here's where we left off. This is that main presentation waterfall. Big rock, 4-foot drop. We're gonna be putting a rock behind here to equalize the water. If we just said, okay, let's let water come into this rock, majority of it's going to come right here in this dip, and we're going to lose over here. It's not going to jump up this hump right here to get where we want to get to on this side, so we can have that waterfall coming down in front. So what we do to fix that, we're going to take and put a big slab behind that, so it's going to distribute that water evenly onto this rock, and then from there you'll get like a large volume of water here. You'll still get some over the top that's going to do what we want here, and we'll get some water on this side, so we should get some really good coverage. We got 3 SLD 5,000 to 9,000 pumps. We're gonna be pushing anywhere from 15 to 17,000 gallons an hour. So that's gonna be quite a bit of water pouring over this rock. It's gonna look so awesome. The outcroppings here have all come together. We're making sure there's plenty of room for planting. We wanna have landscape plants that can soften all this rock work, because we're looking at, you know, 60 plus tons of rocks right now. And when it's all said and done, we're gonna be over 100. So it would look extremely rocky if it wasn't landscaped properly. So leaving those areas to add the plants is going to be crucial. From here, we're going to make a hard right-hander, big pooling area here, and over there is the headwaters. That's where we're starting this waterfall. Pretty simple drop, probably a 2 to 3 foot drop coming out of there, feeding this, and then right on down the entire system to the bottom. We're here starting our third day. Like, we've only been here 2 days and we accomplished almost the whole top section of the waterfall. You're looking at well over 120, 130 tons of boulders placed in this entire waterfall and stream system. Keep in mind, Brian and Ed and a couple guys spent about a week here. They installed a 3,000 gallon reservoir, the pump vaults. They built probably the first 25 feet of this waterfall. So that was all finished. So we took it from pretty much here all the way up the rest of the way. There is just one word: wow. First of all, 90 feet long, 20 feet of elevation, 150 tons of boulders. We got about like 30 or 40 tons of river gravel that we use within the feature for backfill, all that kind of stuff. There are 100 aqua blocks in here, which is 3,000 gallons of water storage down here. So and what they're going to do eventually is tie the leaders from the house into here, so we get a little bit of a sustainability going on where it's recharging the basin anytime it rains here, which is not a lot, but that's the reason the reservoir is so large, is to account for a lot of the evaporation stuff that's going to be happening here. Let's take a walk through this thing. Let's talk real quick. I know everybody's going to ask down in the comments how much for something like this.
So this is about a $200,000 water feature. You know, we've got over 150 total tons of stone. It's really closer to about 200 tons of stone with the gravel and the backfill and everything else. We've got 4 pumps, you know, lots of pipe, lots of liner, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And then an extreme amount of talent. I mean, Jack, we've had the opportunity of building features really all over the world together.
Which is incredible.
And, yeah, you know, it's taken us to Australia, to Colombia, you know, we're here in Utah. I can't even count how many projects we've done together. When we come together and we work with other experienced CACs, we can get like an epic amount of work done in a short amount of time, and we have a great time doing it, right?
That's like, so you and I have done several of these projects, and we talk to people about how much they cost, and we tell them how long it's going to take. First of all, they're blown away by how fast we can get these things done, and it's 1,000% because of the talent that we bring in when we do a project like this. Like collaborating with guys like Alan, you can't replicate that, not even with our own crews, because everybody is a leader in their own business.
Well, when you think about it, there's over 100 years of combined experience on this job site.
Yeah.
You know, between Ed and myself and you and Alan. I mean, 100 years of combined experience.
Yeah.
You don't get to hear that too often anymore.
No.
We couldn't do this 20 years ago, right?
No, of course
it's
not.
not something we would tackle, but now we have fun doing it, right? And we're like kids playing in an enormous sandbox, just playing with giant boulders and machines.
So you're looking 200,000+ to build something like this. Of course, this is not an inexpensive home, so I don't want to hear that, you know, but tell me in the comments you can build this for 20 grand. That's the comments I usually get. Oh yeah, I can build it for 20 grand.
Yeah,
Sure you can.
Show me how, because I'll come to that class.
We built a mountain in the backyard. It's extremely impressive.
We should totally give them a little credit, right?
Yeah. Alan was here too. Okay.
I was always here somewhere.
So, I mean, I've worked with these guys more times than I can count, and I can always expect the same thing, just from sun up to sundown, kicking some serious butt. And that's what we did here. I mean, what is your impression? We turned this thing on, and
I mean, it's everyone is always so unique, but I like when there's like these big boulders because it looks mountainous. I mean, like, you know, earlier you said we were up in the mountains with the side-by-sides, and this is something, I mean, I could picture elk by this and wild animals and everything else. It's just massive. Big boulders, great waterfalls. I mean, this is exactly what you want to see in this kind of an area.
hey, Brian, you got a new guy with you too. Tell me about Kyle. How the heck did Kyle get here?
So there's a lot of people that want to get into doing water features, and Kyle is hitting it like head on, right? He said, if I'm going to get into doing water features, I want to figure out, how do I work at the sandbox? How do I get to collaborate on some of these other projects? And so he's just kind of invited himself, and we get along. So yeah, come on. But you tell me, are you learning stuff from this?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's extremely humbling to be able to work with you, Jack.
That's all you had to say was my name. If you're looking for more of a DIY project, we've got tons of other videos that show that. That's not this. This is just, it blows my mind what was able to be done here. And having this slope to work with, we all are always salivating as water feature artists, like what we could do with a slope like this. And then given the opportunity, these are the results. Guys, tell me what you think down in the comments. Would you want to live here? I mean, walking in that front door, and this is what you got in the backyard. I will be back to see this later on this summer. I'll do a full recap once the landscaping's done and the house is done. It's gonna be spectacular. Hit that subscribe button. Come on back every Friday, 4 p.m. We're here bringing you awesome water features and water feature builds. See you on the next one.